So this, guys, is what a confirmed lock looks like, and that is what we're going to talk about today. Ball pythons locking up. Look at that, real solid lock. What is going on, my dudes and dudettes? Sean here with SNS Serpentarium, and today, as you know, we're talking about ball python locks. What we're going to discuss in today's video is going to be how to know if your ball pythons have locked, the signs they're about to lock, and all things related to the locking topic. Just before we start, guys, this is my gorgeous, fairly grumpy Enchi Lhasa Pastel Yellow Belly. She's a 4-gene girl, and I'm hoping she will actually be up to size late this season to breed with my clown boy to make myself some lovely het clowns, as well as that pairing that I just showed you. And I'll be pairing him to a Lhasa as well to make some nice het clowns, keep back for myself then. Grow them on for a couple of years and then make some gorgeous clown combos. Really good stuff. So getting straight into it then, guys. What you want to look for when your snakes are locking, when you put your male in, what you should normally see is the male should go around the female like that, and then sort of cuddle up, if you like, and that's him trying to court the female. That is typical courting behaviour, and then what he'll do then, he'll get as close to her as possible and he'll start trying to tickle her with his back of his tail. What I like to do when they're in that sort of stage and when they're locked up is I don't interfere with them at all. I just leave them to it, leave them do their business, and hopefully everything will go well, and you know, the female will start producing follicles ready to make some eggs. You want to feed your female really heavy, guys, as well, when you are actually hoping for snake eggs, so that's just something to bear in mind. Boo. So what you want to look for as well, guys, after they've locked, they normally just separate apart. They normally don't want anything to do with each other, and that is a good sign. If they were cuddling the day before, cuddling up as we call it, or I call it, if they were cuddling up the day before, you come in the next day and they're apart, that is a good sign they've locked, but it isn't a confirmed lock unless you've seen it. I normally catch them locking, but I'm up here a lot. I'm always checking on my snakes, making sure the temps are right and stuff like that, making sure everyone's happy, everyone's got water. So I'm always up here, so I quite often catch the lock. So, but what you want to do as well is don't interfere with them too much. I don't handle my snakes when I'm breeding them at all, and it is quite sad because you do miss them a lot, and that's why it's good to give some snakes a year off, or spend a little bit longer growing them on, so then you've always got snakes to handle. Like this girl here, I'm not bothered if I breed her this year or not. It's not the end of the world. She's a gorgeous snake and she's a really good pet for me, so that's worth keeping in mind. Boo. So another thing you want to keep in mind, guys, is the cleanliness of the enclosure. Now, when I first started out, I just kept everything immaculate all the time, which you should do. Everything should be clean. But when you're breeding, I like to leave it get a little bit dirtier, just because a lot of the pheromones and stuff is in the poop. I'm not talking about leaving the poop in there for weeks and weeks. Just when they're locking, if they've pooped, leave it in there, don't disturb them. And then after they've locked, then take them out and clean the enclosure. Don't do it while they're in there. You're interrupting them, and a lot of the pheromones and the smells and stuff like that in the poo will actually trigger them to breed. So that's just a little tip for you. Another tip as well, if your male won't lock, chuck a shed in from another male and that should get him to lock. Or you could pop the hemipenes of the other male and get the sperm plugs and rub them all down the snake back, the back of the female, and that smell then will then trigger the male you want to breed to that female to actually lock up, and then you're golden and you've got the lock, and it's all hunky-dory. It's worth bearing in mind, guys, when you are pairing up your snakes, you've got to be patient. Last year I didn't see any locks for a good while. I've paid up my pied a few times to the Het Pied girls. He hasn't locked yet. Just keep paying them up. As long as they're eating, everything is fine. They will pair up eventually, normally. You know, you might want to use some of these other tactics to bear them on, to spur them on. Check out my video on how to get a male to lock to the female if you need any extra advice. It's always worth checking as well that you do have a male and a female, not two males or two females. That can sometimes happen. Snakes do get missold as wrong sex. It's normally, you know, people selling it as a female when it's actually a male. So you need to keep that in mind. You don't want your snakes fighting because they're both males. It is worth noting that you might want to drop your temperatures down a little bit. I'm not talking loads. I'm talking down to like 88, 89 degrees Fahrenheit. I'd keep the cool end the same, though I wouldn't really play with that. Keep it around 80 degrees. And you could do a drop then to 75 in the night. What that does then is spurs the follicle growth. And it can encourage the female to be more receptive to locking up with the male. And the more the follicles grow, the more she lock up. And the more she locks up, the more the follicles grow. And the more she stop smashing down the food as well. So it's brilliant. And then after a while, after a few lockups, after a couple of months goes by, they won't lock up anymore. And normally then a little bit after this, or perhaps a little bit before this, you'll notice an ovulation. So what that is then is she sort of swelled up and it's like a tail suck underneath, and that means she's ovulating, and that is a sure sign then that she probably will lay eggs. She might slug out and she could reabsorb, but normally she will lay some good eggs at that stage. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've learned a little something today. If you have, then make sure you drop us a like, subscribe, smash the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Let me know in the comments if you're breeding this season and what your pairings are. I'd love to hear from you all. Again, thanks for watching, guys. I've been Sean with S&S Serpentarium, and I will see you next time. Bye!